Hello, this is Jack from Fluency.com, and today Kate and I are going to ask each other some would you rather questions. Now, what does it mean if someone's asked you, would you rather this or that?
So, to be honest, this is not a game that I have played.
You've never played it?
I was about 13 years old.
It's a very popular game to play when you're at university too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's known as a drinking game.
Okay.
And the questions you ask at university, we are not going to ask today.
Okay.
We're going to keep this somewhat PG, which means suitable for children.
Yes.
But we are going to ask each other some tough questions. So if you ask a question, for example, would you rather spend your entire life at the beach or in a city?
Ooh. I am 100% a beach girl. And I love the ocean. It's where I feel happiest and calmest. And I love a lot of different ocean sports, so I would have to choose the beach.
Yeah. So
what about you?
Just to go into the game a little bit more, what you're saying, this is your preference.
Yeah.
So the question is, would you rather live here or here? You're asking for the preference, and you have to choose one.
Okay.
So this is the how difficult this game can be, because it's not an easy option. So you would rather live at the beach. I think I would rather live in a big city.
Okay.
Yeah, for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. Because I'm hammering home that this is the difficulty of the game.
Stakes are high.
Yeah, very high. I think, I'd choose the city because there's a lot more you can do there. Now, there's always going to be someone who says, oh, I'd prefer to live in a big city by the beach. But, the idea is that you can only, you can't change. You can't change it.
Okay.
But I knew that you would say the beach.
Why did you know that?
Because you love the beach.
I do love the beach.
Yeah, but it's a difficult choice. Because the beach is fun. You can do so many cool things at the beach. It's very relaxing.
It's very relaxing. And I think that's what I base my decision on.
Yeah.
Because no matter how interesting and neat the things that you can do in a city are, I feel like the entire time that I'm in a city, I'm just a little bit stressed out.
Yeah.
And every time that I'm at the beach, I'm just a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
I'm the best version of myself at the beach.
And I think that people, when you meet people who live at the beach, they always seem very relaxed. But then if you meet people randomly in New York City, I wouldn't describe them as relaxed.
As relaxed. They're a little bit faster.
Yeah.
paced.
Everything is hectic and stressful. At the beach, everyone is chilled out and relaxed.
That's a good question.
Yeah. What about you? Would you rather live in a big city or at the beach? Number 2 is, and I'm reading from a screen here, would you rather be able to detect any lie you hear or get away with any lie you tell?
You get to answer this one first.
Okay, so I'll just explain a couple of things here. Detect any lie you hear, which means be able to know when someone is lying. So if somebody lies to you, to detect that they're lying means you know that they're lying. And to get away with something means that they won't know that you're lying. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully. This is a hard one because if you detect every lie someone says, then you're never going to trust anyone. And it's going to be, you're constantly going to just think, everyone lies. Like Dr. House says.
That everybody lies.
You're not going to ever feel comfortable, I feel. But then you might meet that one person who never lies.
That's me.
This is, yeah. Or get away with any lie you tell. Now that one's difficult too, because that might make you want to lie all the time. Mm-hmm. Because if you can get away with lying, then you can think of the possibilities.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. For example, what's a possibility?
This reminds me of the film with Leonardo DiCaprio.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Catch Me If You Can.
Catch Me If You Can. Mm-hmm. And he lies his way into all of these situations.
So he gets away with the lie of being a pilot for a long time. Mm-hmm. He is somebody who says he's a pilot. It snowballs, doesn't it?
So it's kind of like, would you rather be a sociopath or would you rather be a bitter and deeply suspicious person?
That's one way to look at it. I'd say get away with any lie I tell, and then I wouldn't lie.
I also would choose to get away with any lie that I tell, but for different reasons.
To take advantage of it.
Well, I wouldn't want to think that I would take advantage of it. But I would like to think, first of all, that there aren't too many people that are lying to me.
Yeah.
And usually I can tell when someone is lying.
Right.
And that conversely, I feel like if I had the power to make anything that I said seem so convincing, I would be able to use that power for good.
Very good. What about you? Leave your answers below. Okay, number 3. Would you rather get a paper cut between your fingers every time you touch paper, or bite your tongue every time you eat something? It's easy.
Yeah. Well, I would say that a couple years ago, it would not have been as easy.
What's your answer?
My answer is the paper cut every time I touch paper, because we are living in a paperless world where you can now get everything on your phone. And for a while, it was really difficult for me to transition from reading print, because I love the feel of books and I love to read, to a Kindle or a reading device. Mm-hmm. But now that I've transitioned, I'm not looking back. And I love to eat way too much to get burned every time that I eat.
Yeah. I think that's an obvious one. Yeah. But paper cuts do hurt.
They do hurt.
They do hurt.
Yeah.
And it just means that you will never touch paper again. Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to get a paper cut.
Nope.
Biting your tongue every time you eat something.
As a teacher, I would have to say, students, please pick up the papers.
Yeah.
Which I do anyway.
Yeah, you can just delegate that
Delegate
task.
that.
But then, yeah, to bite your tongue every time you eat something, this is painful and, we eat all the time.
Eat all the time.
Yeah, so that one's easy. Would you rather be allergic to chocolate or allergic to smartphones?
Oh, that is a tough one.
This is specific to you.
It seems like this question was designed to stump me.
Should I go first?
Yeah.
All right. Definitely chocolate. Easy. It's easy.
It's not
chocolate.
Easy. It's not. It is not easy. It's not easy.
Chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to go with chocolate. I'm gonna have to go with chocolate too.
This is when it gets difficult, but you have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that I love chocolate. I have chocolate every day.
Yeah. Me too, more or less.
More or less. But in these days, like, a smartphone is so many things. Mm-hmm. A chocolate just has one role. And I think you could find other things to fill in for chocolate.
Yeah, definitely.
But
that is, I can see why you are struggling. but at the same time, it's an easy choice.
Yeah.
If you actually have to make the choice.
Yes.
Just because, for me anyway, we use them so much, probably too much, and that's another conversation.
Yes.
For another time.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just so practical. As you were saying before, you now read books on there, etc. And I remember what we were talking about the other day. This is interesting. That people talk about how smartphones are taking all these natural resources and they're bad for the environment. But when they actually looked at what smartphones have replaced when it comes to books, so they don't have to produce books anymore, calculators, torches,
flashlights.
Oh yeah. Recording devices, cameras. All these apps have now taken away the need for those standalone products to be made. And they say, I read this article, or the headline, where they said, I did read the article, where they said because of that, it's actually better for the environment to create smartphones. I found that very interesting.
Very interesting.
So in my case, I would rather be allergic to chocolate. I wonder what allergic to smartphones. So you touch it and you get a rash.
Maybe.
Okay, what about you? The last one is, would you rather eat the food prepared by your mum or by your partner?
You answer that one first.
I've just realised how difficult this is. And that I have to answer it as well. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
This is mainly because you are both fantastic chefs. You are both excellent in the kitchen and you make delicious food.
And we will both be aware of this video.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and you both don't cook that often, but when you do, it's excellent. So, yeah, there's my answer. What about you?
Oh, you haven't chosen. Nice try. Nice try. Try again.
Okay, I'll do 5 seconds. If I had to decide one, I'd rather eat food prepared by my mum. She makes an excellent hot pot, a very good chili, and she also makes more of the kind of food that I like.
Pause. Last week, my Thai beef stew.
It was good. It was good.
My Mexican sweet potato soup.
Yeah, decent. Good.
The coconut soup.
I know, it was good. I was just saying if I had to decide. Now, when you answer this question, forget my answer. Don't use what I answered to influence your answer.
My answer was already my mom.
Is she a good cook?
Oh, better than you.
Good chef.
Well, some of my favorite foods are the foods that I've grown up with.
Yeah.
And I'm still reeling, by the way, but I'm trying to answer my question. I love vegetables. And my mom really prepares vegetables well.
Yeah.
And salad. She also, everything that I grew up eating really was through my mom.
Yeah. And I make very standardized things.
Yeah, just like meat and potato.
Meat, potato, and a little bit of vegetable. On the side.
No vegetable.
I don't. Potato's a vegetable. And pasta sauce is a vegetable.
Pasta sauce is not a vegetable.
Of course it is. It has tomato. Well, fruit, I guess. But it has onions and it has peppers. It's tomato. Anyway, so we got interrupted. We got into the... I don't know where we were up to on that, but we ran out of memory on the memory card. And we had to just start again. But Kate was asking... Kate had a few questions about my answer. The way I interpret this question is, right now, would you prefer to eat the food prepared by your mum or your partner? And I know that my mum is going to make like a shepherd's pie or a hot pot or something like that. Maybe like lamb and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my head, you would make a smoked salmon salad, which is good. But I'd prefer to eat what my mum prepared. So,
have you ever heard the expression of digging yourself a hole?
Yeah.
In a conversation?
Yeah.
That's when you say something inappropriate or just plain wrong.
Yeah.
And then you try to fix it by saying more things. And every time you say something, it just makes the situation worse.
But you had the exact same answer.
I know, but mine...
So, if you want to learn more about the phrases that we use in this video, then go to the description. We'll leave those phrases for you. And then check out the other conversations that we've had. I've made a great playlist. I think this is maybe episode 15.
Great.
It might be the last one.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, then please like and share this video with your friends, your partner, and your mum. Anything else?
I would like for Kate's question of the day to be for people to answer. Would you rather eat the food prepared by your mother or by your partner?
Thank you again for watching. Speak to you soon. Goodbye.